Hello everyone, Hawky here, back with another Sword of Convallaria video. So let's talk about SP Inanna as a DPS. So 5-star Dawnlight. I'm on Icy Fun's account, so big shout out to him and thank him so much for letting me borrow his account for testing because I'm not pulling for Dawnlight. The Dawnlight, it's on the CM version, I can't translate it. Magic AoE 20%, power of Dawnlight, extra 20% magic AoE damage, and gains the attack too. So we're going to play this out with Dawnlight, Blood Luxite Amulet, and the Justice Tarot, 4152 attack. And yeah, we're playing in the testing dummy stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Tyre give SP Inanna the attack 2 buff, and Coco give like a bit of crit buff. So that's like fairly reasonable in like a regular game, right? And these dummies have like 0 defense. So we're not going to do any debuffs on the enemy there. And we're actually going to urgent order Coco so she does go right after Tyre because the 1000 Mile Echo, which does give the attack 2, gives a lot of speed. And then Iron Pot Stew for some crit. Okay, so let's look at SP Inanna. She has 8 stacks of free will, and so she can make someone act again. So what we'll do is we'll make her move out of range and... Okay, let's just free will Call of Freedom here. We throw down the flag. We'll throw it here. And then we'll make sure we'll do the same thing for the other testing as well. And we'll hit 5 enemies. So let's see our attack now. 7099. We got a bunch of buffs in Chinese, which maybe we can translate later. Essentially, it's the same set of buffs that we'll be getting every time, right? So 18.7k. Let's see our damage. Okay, maybe we slow it down a bit. The power of friendship. Ooh, 138. 639. And looks like we'll crit like 4 of these units. 4 of the dummies. And then we'll get out the stage and see how much total damage we've done here. Yeah, 138, 639. And we'll also break down the numbers. So I just put it in the sheet here. We got the non-crit and the crit hits. Now we'll switch over to Void Stab. The Void Stab isn't rolled as well as the Dawnlight there. It is what it is. So 4072 attack. And you guys know what Void Stab does. Crit 15%, 1 stack of Void after using a skill, increases crit damage by 5%, stack up to 6 times. We can't really stack it up to 2 times on turn 1, so it is what it is. Alright, and doing the same as before. So we can see here, this is the Void Stab, you can see it's only on 2 stacks, so... yeah, what can we do? Wait, this is Void Stab here. This is that battlefield experience thing. Battle and Warrior 6963 attack. And yeah, we'll do the same setup. Big AoE, 5 units. Only 14.7. Okay. Let's see this damage. Slow it down a bit. Ooh, 115. Okay. So yeah, definitely a bit lower damage. 14k, 14.7 non-crit, 25k crit. Like, you know, comparing the damage, like, I feel like it's just our luck we got like 4 crits on both of these, right? Okay, I did some math. Thanks so much to Yuren from the Discord, SOC Discord. Big shout out to him. So what we're looking at for the crit sources is we got our base 5%, the crit 2 from the Iron Pot Stew, and then one of them's using Void Stab, one of them is not. So that's the 15%, and both are using the Justice. So we have 0.65% crit rate for the Void Stab one, and then 0.5 for the Dawnlight. Crit damage source, it's the 30% base. So everyone has a base 30%. The Void gives 30% at max stacks, and Justice 15%. So 1.45, and because we only had 2 stacks of Void, that should just be a 10% increase in crit damage. So we're comparing like 1.45 versus 1.55. And I did an average of them, right? So we do have the non-crit hit half the time, plus the crit hit half the time, versus the crit hit 0.65% of the time, and then the non-crit hit here at 0.35% of the time. So that averages damage here, 24k, 24.3k per hit with Dawnlight, and then 21k, 21.4k per hit with Void Stab. But keep in mind, that's only with 2 stacks of Void. So it means that Dawnlight is only 13%. Only 13% than Void Stab, and that's only considering just 2 stacks of Void. So Void can stack up to 6 times. So over the turns, Void Stab would catch up, and the damage would actually be more than Dawnlight. And especially, we do have the higher crit rate to trigger and everything, and yeah, there's also other source of crit damage and crit rate we haven't included. Like, if you bring in Luffy, that's going to change a lot of things. And I guess another thing to keep in mind is, in this test, we also had the Void Stab engraving, slightly lower, or slightly low engravings. We're missing, just under 100, 80 attack points difference. The other thing I want to try? I want to try with stratagem, Luffy's Blade of Stratagem. Just for lols. So 4137. Oh man, it means I'd have to bring in Luffy to do all the debuffs and everything. This is so not going to be accurate. Yeah, I don't really know how I'm going to do this. I'm going decoy a bunch of mobs around Luffy. And then some are going to be debuff 1, 2, or 3. And we're gonna free will Fire, what we're gonna do, not have them in the flag aura or something. And then these are 2 debuffs, 3, 3, 3. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And just AoE them all. What was that one? 3 debuffs, so AoE from here. AoE these. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, and they all had different debuffs on, right? I mean, the debuffs don't really matter. It's only the vulnerable that matters, yeah? So which one were the vulnerable ones? Oh wait, Luffy didn't have any vulnerable on. So why was this 17k and why is that 19k? And a crit is 33k. What does this mean? Yeah, this middle one. This middle one. How did it get... How did it only get 19k? It's only 2 debuffs versus this 17k. What's the reasoning there? Okay. I mean, we could just say the non-crit hits are 17k and then the big crit hits with the 3 debuffs is 33k, right? We'll just go with that. Okay, whatever. Yeah, let's go with that. Non-crit hit 17k, crit hit with 3 debuffs is 33k. So if you're able to pull that off, and then this is 50% crit rate. So if you're able to pull that off, that would be 0.5 times 17 plus 0.5 times 33. That puts us at 25k. Technically, Blade of Stratagem is better. And that's not counting out the, out of turn, right? Physical attack 16% out of the character's turn. Wait, does it work like that? So we're 7653 because after we did that hit. And then if we did the free will and moved, getting the sword and wand, does that give us the extra 7157? Yeah, so we do get more out of the outer turn for SP Inanna as well, using the I missed giving you guys the Call of Freedom animation on SP Inanna's cosmetic. So I'll show you guys that. Ah, nice. Okay. So I guess if we do want to play SP Inanna as a full DPS, Blade of Stratagem actually works the best, right? Like I did update the calculation. So basically these are the full numbers that we're looking at. So these averages. So and that's only with 2 stacks of Void. So if we do have the 3 debuffs on the enemy and hit that extra crit damage from Blade of Stratagem, that is 25k. 25k, which beats these two, right? If we don't do the 3 debuffs, it's 21k. So it's equivalent to like 2 stacks of Void. So it's a 3 debuffs, which is the annoying thing. But then we also have to count the out of turn attacks. So when Inanna does the Call of Freedom and she acts again, she does get extra attack, and that's going to push up her damage even more. But man, it's just a lot of setup, right? Man, it's hard. It's hard, right? But either way, I feel like, you know, Dawnlight is the one that's not really worth it. So I hope that's like really spelled it out for you guys. Like, you know, 20% AoE magic plus the power Dawnlight for an extra 20% AoE. Very nice, but very like it's just damage. It's just situational damage, and it's not even as good as Void Stab. I mean, I guess the only time it'll be better is, you know, Void Stab, you know, not stacking up early because you're only getting 2 stacks on the first turn, and nothing's giving you attack 2. But a lot of our support units can easily give you the attack 2 buff, giving you the physical attack. So there's nothing to worry about. Just grab attack 2 from someone and you're good. Anyway, I'll end it there. Hope that's, you know, a thorough enough analysis on SP Inanna and these 3 weapons, and I'll see you guys next time.